It doesn't even matter. Here we are. A lot of you are probably still laying in bed, like eyes half open, ears half open. You really don't know what we're saying anyway. So we're in the 50s. Good morning, Arcanum at 55 degrees, 59 in Troy, Wapakoneta doing the same thing. Dayton, good morning. In Wapakoneta, Urbana, and now 54 in Greenville. We are down into the low 60s south of I-70, but guaranteed we still have a few hours left before we get to our coolest point. We'll drop into the 50s, and for some of us will drop into the 40s. You heard me. And if we don't do it this morning, we'll do it tomorrow morning. Clear skies, calm winds behind that front thanks to high pressure sets us up nicely for the cooler air, not just through the morning, but through the afternoon, too. And not just through today, but for an extended period of time. A couple cold fronts reinforce this cooler air, so we're highlighted in blue. The Climate Prediction Center saying that we have a higher probability of being below normal. And while we do climb up above normal for a few days, Wednesday and Thursday back up to 86, normal is 83, by the way. By Friday, we have a second cold front that's going to reinforce that cooler air just in time for your upcoming weekend. 70 already there, if not colder, cooler, I should say. 57 in Bell Fountain, 55 in Urbana. Good morning, Greenville at 54. It's 55 in Wapakoneta. Have I said that? I don't know. Anyway, further south you go. You're in the low 60s. You'll drop into the 50s. And live Doppler 7 is dry. High pressure is set up. The cold fronts to our south. That's where most of the moisture is. It's back into the mid-Atlantic. And now we've cleared it out and temperatures have dropped. Now around this big blue H that's sitting up to our north and west, the air spins clockwise. So it pulls in more of a northeast wind today. And that northeast wind settles in and that cool, dry air from Canada sits at least for the next 2 days until that high decides it wants to shift further east and switch our winds more to the south, which you'll notice by Wednesday. Until then, enjoy the 70s for highs today, waking up tomorrow in the low 50s, some of us in the 40s, then bouncing back into the 70s and some of us pushing close into the low 80s, which again is normal. 83 is our typical high. But that high pressure system that's in control not only cools us down, but keeps us dry, which is not good. We need rain. As you know, we're begging for any bit. The problem is if we get a little bit, it's not enough to do rid of the drought. So Friday will be our next good chance. And even then, it's a 30% shot, picking up about a quarter to a half an inch of rain. Again, it's not much. And we plan on staying dry, not just through the next 7 days, but over the next 8 to 14 days. The Climate Prediction Center has this highlighted in this tannish color, which means we have above normal chances of being below normal when it comes down to rainfall. This doesn't help the drought. We're abnormally dry for almost all of us, if not under a moderate drought. Springfield, Xenia, Salina talking to you. And you've seen the tops of the trees starting to turn this yellowish color and maybe even some already on the ground. That's not fall kicking in. That's the drought really kicking in. Here it is, your next 7 days. Storm Center 7, Greenville, 55 in Richmond, Indiana, as well as Winchester. And live Doppler 7 is dry. In fact, we're dry for miles as we stretch all the way back into the Midwest. High pressure has set up to our north and west, and it spins clockwise, the air around it. So it brings in that cool, dry air behind the cold front, and it sets over top of us for the next 2 days' time. And you'll see it. The clear skies set in. We have a lot of sunshine today, but it's the northeast wind, again, keeping us cool, so we only warm into the 70s. Tomorrow morning, calm winds, clear skies. We're in the 40s for a lot of us across the Miami Valley. And if you're not in the 40s, you're in the low 50s. It's a nice, cool, crisp fall morning. And I can say that because fall, meteorological fall that is, started September 1st. Tomorrow afternoon, while we will bring in a few more clouds, will be a little bit warmer. We're only going to be into the upper 70s, though. Some of us in the low 80s. And we remain dry. Not good, because we need the rain. As you know, you've seen the crispy brown trees or maybe some yellowing on the tops and then some of the dead leaves down on the ground already. It's not fall. It's just dry. So we need rain, and we're bringing in that rain chance on Friday with a 30% shot, only picking up about a quarter to a half an inch of rain with this next cold front that will reinforce the cooler air, but not bring us hardly any rain yet again, which is part of the reason why the Climate Prediction Center has this highlighted in tan yet again. That is a below normal probability of rainfall. We're abnormally dry. We have a moderate drought. for parts of the valley, and this is likely just going to increase across the valley from Springfield to Xenia back into Salina under a moderate drought. So yeah, any drop of rain helps, but it's not going to be enough to wipe us clean of that drought situation. Here's your data. Others are pushing toward that 60-degree mark, but dropping still a few degrees yet this morning. We have another hour or so. We're at 59 now in Greenville, or rather Dayton. We plan on being below normal, not just this morning, but tomorrow morning and for an extended period of time, and not just the mornings either. You can expect the cooler temperatures to stick around through the afternoon as high pressure's in control and it brings in that cool, dry air from up north. So that's why we're highlighted in blue. The Climate Prediction Center says, all right, we've got a heightened probability of being below normal for the next 8 to 14 days. Now, while we do climb for a second's time Wednesday and Thursday, back up to 86, which is just 3 degrees above normal, we'll fall back with the next cold front that's coming in on Friday. Weather and traffic, we're at 60. I guarantee you will also drop into the upper 50s. And live Doppler 7 is dry. High pressure's in control. We widen things out. Look at the Midwest. There's nothing coming our direction. It's not good. We'd like to have some rain. It's just not happening. High pressure's in control. The cold front that ran through yesterday brought a brief shower. A lot of that rain actually fizzled before it even made its way to I-70. I know so because I was watching it on radar, praying very hard that it would come through and water my grass. Turns out I had to pay the extra $1. So we didn't get lucky. Here's the area of high pressure I'm talking about. It's across the upper Midwest at the moment, spinning around it, all that air clockwise and bringing in some cool, dry air from Canada. So our temperatures today, below normal in the 70s, about 10 degrees below normal for some of us. We'll wake up tomorrow morning in the 40s, others in the low 50s. Regardless, it is a nice, cool, crisp fall morning. And yes, we can truly say that now because meteorological fall started September 1st. Welcome to September, everybody. Tomorrow, while we do bring in a few more clouds, we will remain dry and cooler than normal. Some of us struggling to get into the low 80s yet again. And we mentioned staying dry. We have another dry streak on our hands over the next 5 days. Our only chance of rain looks to be Friday. And even then, it is a 30% shot of picking up a quarter to a half an inch of rain. Yay, exciting, right? Nah, we really need that rain. The problem is the Climate Prediction Center says it's not just the next 5 days that it looks like we're going to be below normal when it comes down to rain. It's going to be the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's why we're highlighted in yellowish, orangish tan here in Springfield and Xenia and Salina. This is a moderate drought, which will likely get expanded as we get the next drought monitor to come out this Thursday. No rain over the next 7 days other than Friday, folks. Here's your storm. You overperform every time. But again, we are cooler this morning because of mostly clear skies and a northeast wind behind that cold front that decided to move through. We're at 54 in Bell Fountain and Greenville and Wapakoneta. Others in the low 60s, but we'll find yourselves in the upper 50s here within the upcoming hour, I'm sure, as we've cleared out the skies, not just here, but across the Midwest as high pressure has set up behind the cold front. The placement of that high, we talk about it every time, but it really is key in our temperature here. High pressure up to our north and west. As that air spins clockwise around it, it brings in cool, dry air from Canada. So as a result, our temperatures fall below normal today and tomorrow. We'll be struggling to get out of the 70s. And tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up in the 40s. Some of us in the low 50s if you're lucky. And then we draw in a few more clouds, but no rain. And that does not inhibit our warming process. We'll find ourselves back up close to 80 tomorrow, if not in the low 80s. But again, we remain dry. We need rain. We need it so bad. In fact, we had a little bit of rain yesterday with the front, and I was praying that it would come in and just water my grass for me, but that wasn't the case. So I had to spend the extra $1, and many of you probably did too. But we have a chance of rain Friday. That's it. A 30% shot with our next cold front. It'll bring us about a quarter to a half an inch of rain across the board. We need more than that to play the catch-up game when it comes down to the drought that's in place across the Miami Valley. So we're highlighted in this taupish tan color. According to the Climate Prediction Center, we have an above normal probability of being below normal when it comes down to rainfall. Again, that's not going to help this. We are abnormally dry almost across the entire Miami Valley. The orangish taupe colors that you're seeing, that is a moderate drought from Xenia to Springfield back into Salina now. And we'll likely see this expand for the next drought monitor going into this upcoming Thursday. So your next 7 days, Storm Center 7-day